The question we're going to answer today is about butt chafing or butt sores from the rowing machine. So what do you do about it? How can you stop it? And why is it happening? So let's get into it. So there's actually 3 main reasons that this happens. Out of those 3, there's 2 that everyone talks about. But that 3rd reason we're going to chat about, so definitely stay till the end. So the first reason actually is clothing, which is the most common one that people talk about and ask about. The common thing that people will start to look for are clothing that don't have seams. Now, some people choose to go commando for this. Other people will go on a mission to find different ones. The other thing to look at, honestly, with clothing is what type of clothing are you wearing? Is it tight? Is it loose? Or is it something that is of a material that might cause a little bit more friction issues to occur? If you're having an issue and you notice that you're usually wearing things that are baggy, or you're usually wearing things like, honestly, jeans or things like that, then play around with different types of materials when you're on the rowing machine and see if that helps. So the second thing is actually moisture. If you sweat a lot and combine that with number 1, with what clothing, what are the seams like, what material it is, but if you take those 2 things and you're a person who sweats a lot versus doesn't, that's also gonna change things on what kind of clothing should you be wearing when you row. So play around with different types of materials, cotton, spandex, things like that, and see if one does better for you than another. All right, so then we've got the 3rd point. Now, this is the one that a lot of people don't talk about as much, but it comes down to your form. Now, what do I mean with that? Hi, Biscuit. When it comes to form, we're actually going to talk about 3 different components for this. Now, the first one is when you're at the front catch position. That's when you're all scrunched up here. Now, when you're here, if you are leaning forward a lot, or if you're bringing your knees out to the side, and you just sit here and do that, you might notice that there's some movement happening at your hips, which changes your bum position on the seat. All of that is extra friction that's happening. Then, as I go from here to the finish, and I'm at the finish position, if I go really far back, more of my butt is going to start to touch the back of the seat. So every time I do this forward and backward, and I go into this excessive forward or the excessive back position, every time my butt is actually changing the point of contact on my seat, and all of that is adding extra friction, which can really increase all of that rash situation that you might be having down there. And the 3rd one is, what position is your butt on the actual seat? If we sit on the seat and we already have some tilt happening, when I go to that forward position, now I'm sitting on my sit bones, and again, I've changed that contact position on my seat. Same thing's gonna happen when I go backwards. I'm gonna have more of my bum touching the seat, so I'm likely to increase that friction. So this 3rd step is just getting our butt right onto the sit bones and making sure that when we start rowing, our butt is in a good position and our pelvis isn't rotated. When it comes to that 3rd one though, with getting your butt on the right position on the seat, I definitely recommend checking out this video that talks all about how to get in that correct position for you and your body.